Alright, been a bit of a while since I've done one of these. Another Ramblings in Príncipe, a month on from I think my last video. And originally I didn't think I'd done anything. Looking back, I probably should make another video now. And I'm like, I haven't done anything. And it's like, looking back through pictures and stuff, I've done loads. But it's funny because it's all kind of fallen into the sort of daily routine. Like some of the mad things I'm doing that's just like ridiculous things just falls into just part of daily life now, innit? Part of just how it goes. The island itself, you don't get over the natural beauty of the island. Some of the things I've done, like went scuba diving. Finally managed to go scuba diving last week. And I'm just lay there in the sea after we come up from our second dive, looking at the south of the island, just like, yeah, that's pretty spectacular. You just sat there in the middle of the ocean, looking at just a view of mountains and all green, and it's like, yeah, all right, yeah, you know what, that's pretty special. You don't forget things like that. And yeah, I've done a couple of trips down to the south, and it's always sort of the same. So the south of the island is all basically a national park, and yeah, it's basically most of it is just untouched. There are several fishing villages on the coast, but it's just untouched. You still just look at the south and just go, yeah, it's paradise basically. You get the Jurassic Park feeling of just proper rugged. Yeah, and I managed to get into the south walking. There was like some botanical training going on, and they were going into the south to kind of do some tree transects and stuff. So I went with them, and basically we had to climb over from where it was old coffee and cocoa plantations into sort of when it became forest. Scrambling up this really steep hill up towards what they call Jean-Paul Paille or whatever, and these big two rocks that stick out. And yeah, it's just get over the other side, just massive trees everywhere which haven't been touched, huge boulders and everything, load of birds everywhere. And that was another thing, just like, God, people don't come here, do they? It's pretty inaccessible, incredibly hard to get to, and there isn't a path. Let's start with the things that aren't work related. Things, just the beach days. The days that you spend on the weekend, incredibly hungover from a night of fantasma. Get up in the morning, it's like, what are we going to do? We're going to go for a walk? No, too hungover. Should we go to the beach? Yes. And you just go lie on the beach, snorkeling for hours. The water is the best cure for everything, especially hangovers. That works. You just go and just swim and snorkel, and just those days of just lying there on a beach in the sun, just like, I'm going to miss doing that every weekend. So one night I thought, it's turtle season, I've inputted some turtle data about where the nests are, think I need to go have a look and actually see one give birth. So I went down, pitch black on the beach, and you're not allowed a proper torch because the white light apparently scares the turtles or something stupid. So you have the tiniest little red light, and you can't see anything. You can pretty much see maybe like less than a metre in front of your feet, and the beach is just littered in crabs. It's a carpet of crabs. So you're walking along just booting crabs out of the way and getting bitten by crabs. But then, we finally got to where the spot was, saw the guards and just waited. And like several times we've seen tracks and ones that were just coming out of the water, and ones that were a bit tentative about laying their eggs, who went up and back down and stuff. And then we finally got one who stayed. It's pretty mad. It's a long process, them giving birth. And they'll come back and give birth maybe 3 to 4 times in a season. So they'll get impregnated all at once, and then just come and lay 3 to 4 different sets of like 90 to 115 eggs at a time. and they basically dig out this nest with their flippers for like an hour, make it deep, make it perfect, make sure the sand's right. If it isn't right, they leave. If it is, they lay the eggs. And then they get into like a trance, and basically they just lay eggs. So like a burst, they'll just lay like 10 eggs and then stop, and then eggs. And you can do anything to them in this time. It's mad. So you've got people like holding tape measures over their back, clipping things to them and stuff. And yeah, seeing that was a amazing experience. I did feel like I intruded a little bit though. I don't really fancy seeing someone giving birth, but yeah, but no, amazing experience. Before I go on to talk about kind of what work I've done, work's kind of been, I don't know, it's been different in the last couple of weeks because we found out that funding has been cut by HBD, which is kind of the bigger corporation behind the Príncipe Trust. And so the Príncipe Trust is no longer. After Christmas, people unemployed, it's going to start kind of it's just going to stop being the Príncipe Trust. So as I said before I left, the first and the last volunteer, but it's really bad because, yeah, funding's been cut and all the amazing things that we were doing here just can't be continued. And work-wise, so one of my things was to make a snorkeling map for Bon Bon Resort. So a load of my time was spent just snorkeling around there, work, kind of gaining experience on where all the best snorkeling spots are, what kind of fish species are there, and we kind of made a list of all the fish species. And yeah, so that's done. I managed to complete that, and the design was getting sent out to be made into a massive big wooden board. We have a little leaflet, well, like a booklet of all the fish species with like more detailed drone footage maps. So yeah, we got the drone out and flew it over Bon Bon, like the island, to try and get some good drone footage, use as pictures. And that looks amazing. The visibility is mad. And yeah, so we got all that done. I think that's looking good. So that was kind of one project ticked off. Another one, yeah, I basically, for ages, I just became a vet. I was working with a vet, just loads. And that was great. Something I just wouldn't have expected I'd do here at all, like work with a vet. No, she kind of threw me in the deep end, may have mentioned it, but just like, didn't even ask me if I was okay with it, just kind of said, right, Billy, grip these testicles, we're going to cut them off. I'm like, live. Like, take these ovaries, we're going to cut them off. Live, alright. So yeah, we're just working with vets, and I've never gripped more testicles in my life than I have during this. Not the most pleasant experience, but it's good. And like we go out to all the little communities and basically just get given a room nowhere near the sanitary conditions that a vet should have. But we get on with it and we do it. And like dark, dingy rooms, load of people queuing up outside to get their dog done, or cat or whatever. And yeah, so you get to see all the communities, which is pretty, there are loads of them, so it's pretty hard to do otherwise. And you get a real local feel of what their life is by kind of spending 2 days in their little community. And yeah, so she also calls upon me like just on weekends and stuff, like because Lara the vet's on call at all times to kind of see what needs to be done, and the people don't really treat their animals very well here. Well, they claim they like them, but then they hit them with machetes and stuff, and that leaves some pretty nasty things. So I'm sat here on a Sunday watching a United game, all happy, all jolly, watching my United game, and I get a call like, Billy, we've got a dog that's been hit by a machete, we come get it with me. Oh, for God's sake. So that's how the rest of my Sunday went, sorting out a dog who'd been hit by a machete. And yeah, that's kind of what happens. Part of the parcel, really, innit? And kind of the outside work I've done kind of got roped into one thing that I wanted to go for a walk one Sunday, but we didn't have transport, and someone did have transport. It was Lara, the vet, and she was going to go help give Felipe, who was kind of sorting out, they built this big house for agriculture and to keep all the bees in and stuff to harvest the honey, and he needed some help up there. So like, right, let's go give him some help, and then go for a walk. Find this nice waterfall walk there. We didn't end up going for a walk. We basically had to cut grass the whole afternoon and then build this massive big bamboo fence. The amount of wood we used and bamboo was ridiculous. And then I got roped into that. Well, not roped in. He's like, Billy, you're going to give up after this? I'm like, nope, coming back. You can't get rid of me that easily. I can handle this. So I came back and did another 1 or 2, I can't remember, 1 or 2 days there with the boys, me and the locals, putting bamboo in. One day was, so the Sunday was really nice weather, boiling. The Monday was dreadful. It just rained and rained and rained, and it was freezing. The only kind of rescue was that a guy thought I was a girl and came and helped me hammering in all my nails into the bamboo. And yeah, I kind of get that a lot here actually. Branca, amiga. It's like, no, I'm a boy. Stop. Like loads, but it doesn't really help when I have stupidly long hair like this. So yeah, I just kind of accept being called a girl nowadays. And yeah, so we finally finished this fence. We were incredibly proud of our gates that we made. The gate was a big thing for us. That was a proper win. And yeah, so we did that. And then outside as well. Oh yeah, so I was doing the trails for Pico Papagayo and went back the other week after to kind of maintain the trail before the inauguration of that. And we had to kind of open up a viewpoint. So we climbed up, had some more ropes and stuff. Then we had to clear a viewpoint. And literally, I'm like, okay, so we're gonna get a team out here with chainsaws. It's like, no, this topless guy with his dog and a big axe comes onto the trail. Like, right, let's clear this. And him and Yodi just went down and we just hear them smacking trees and just big trees falling everywhere and. Suddenly the forest just clears. And it's like, you could have just left it with one tree. And they're like, no. All of them gone. But very, very nice view of San Joaquin and stuff. Oh, San Joaquin, got my first sunset, finally. And it was probably the best sunset I've ever seen. Like, beautiful sunset. Like, the sun was massive. And I kind of ran off from the crowd after we got back from our walk to the south and found myself a little gap in the fence, or not the fence, in kind of the foliage. And yeah, amazing, amazing sunset. It's not easy to see here because it's on the side of the island, which is the national park, and there are no real communities there and stuff. So that was good to get one of those done. So right now, I'm leaving here in like a week and 2 days. Starting my journey on. I think I'm going to have some days in Sao Tome, go back to Gabon for a bit before heading off to Madagascar for Christmas. But I'll keep in touch about all of that and what I'm getting up to there. But yeah, so I'm now just doing a reef check course. So I become an eco diver, learning all about the reef and things, which is really interesting, really good thing to do. Doing that with all the marine guards, and it's funny, it's good, learning loads. And yes, that's kind of the last thing I'm doing properly before I leave. It's kind of sad. I've been here 3 months and just become home, really. Everything, as I said before, the madness of everything I do here has just become part of everyday life. And it kind of takes something special to open your eyes again to the wonders of it all. And yeah, I'm going to miss it. So yeah. That's it from me. Speak to you all around.